Hello, good evening. How's it going out there, everyone? Hope you're having a good night. I am mad that it's cold and dark outside. I'm not surprised because, like, every year in December, that's what starts happening around here. And still, every year, I'm like, really? This is what we're doing now? But I'm otherwise all right. How are you all doing? Tell me in the comments if you're joining me, if you have just stumbled across me. If you don't know me, I'm Lauren Lefkowitz. I'm an executive coach, and I partner with executive and emerging executive, mostly women, but I do work with all genders, who are stuck in the trap of being fine, which is where we get to when we've sort of given up on finding that amazing career and life that we actually want. So you'll see in the corner there, fine as a trap is my slogan. I have a new accountant. She just sent me a fine as a trap mug, and it's my first business mug for my business. And now I feel like I have to sell logo stuff. So here it comes. Lauren Howard's here. Heckle, heckle, heckle. Thank you. I can handle your heckling. You don't scare me. So if you don't know how this works, every week I come on here at 7:05 Eastern on Tuesdays, and I spin a magic wheel, and it tells us what the topic will be for today. And before I go ahead and do that, I just want to make a comment on last week's live, which was it was a choose your own adventure, Lauren, topic that I added to the wheel, and I knew it was there. And I have like 30 topics that I know how to talk about, and like 4 spots that say, hey, Lauren, you pick the topic. And I couldn't think of a topic. So I don't know how I feel about the hey, Lauren, you pick a topic. But I ended up talking about Puppy and what she has brought into my life and taught me about running a business and being a human who has needs other than finish my work. And when I got off of that live, I thought, I don't know, should I keep doing these? You know, I'm on week 31 now, and I've skipped a couple of weeks here and there, but like for the better part of a year, I've been doing this. And I thought, like, maybe I won't do this anymore. But at the end of the live last week, I asked people for what topics they would like to hear about. And I got not only a topic idea from somebody, but also a note from somebody who watches but doesn't really comment about how helpful these lives are. And so that kept me going. And then later in the week, I got another message from somebody that said that they try to either tune in or catch up. So I hear you and I see you. And thanks for those comments, because they helped me realize that not everybody who is watching or impacted comments. So to my lurkers, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm glad to be back again this week. So let's get to our topic. We are going to spin the wheel. And if you've never been here before, this is a very exciting little game show I created for myself, where I spin a wheel I know how to talk about, and the topic chosen for us. And that's what we talk about this week. So we are going to be talking about, wait for it, finding your own value. Amazing. Like this topic. There aren't any topics on here I don't like, let's be honest, but I do really like this topic of finding your own value. So first I want to make a distinction, which is that value and values are 2 different things. So things you value outside of yourself are, you know, things like a positive work environment and good pay and things like that. Your actual value to a company can be sometimes really hard to articulate. And so there are a few things that I think about when I think about my own value. One is we are going to be the very first ones to cut ourselves down and add a but to whatever we think we're good at, right? So when I talk about my value, old me, who didn't know how to take credit for my work or myself, might say, I'm a really good listener, but like, what kind of value does that have in an office? Right now, I recognize that being a really good listener, having that value and being able to share that value makes me a good sounding board, makes me a good reflection board for people to hear themselves talk about things that they're worried about or things that are bothering them. Makes me a good friend. It makes me a good person to be in a room with. And it's really impactful for being a place where people know I'm a good listener. And so they are willing to come and tell me things because they know I won't interrupt them, stop them, ridicule them, make them feel silly. Right. So I just spent like almost a full minute telling you why me being a good listener is valuable and what it's valuable for and to. And our tendency is to discount those things for ourselves. But like everybody's a good listener. But, listening only takes you so far. Well, it's not my only value. Of course you're going to listen to your bosses. Like, what are you going to interrupt them and tell them what they should be doing? Sometimes, yes. But our value, figuring out who we are when we're not interrupting ourselves by telling ourselves and each other what's not great about us, is really important because it helps you sell yourself as a marketable human in the workplace. And that's in part for interviews, of course, but more so, it's so that you can take a stand for yourself in the workplace, so that you can be the person who recognizes something that other people don't recognize or contributes something that other people don't know how to contribute or can't do without your support or your leadership. And so when you're thinking about your value and what you offer to a company, an interesting exercise to do might be to just go find some jobs posted online. And if you find a company that has competencies listed in their job descriptions, things like action orientation, decision-making capabilities, things like that you may see. And often if companies do this, it will be its own section. There'll be like, job description and then requirements. And then you'll get like a section on maybe compensation and equal opportunity employer statement, and then a competencies section of some sort. That's a good place to start. And actually, if you type in the word competencies into a job search platform like LinkedIn or otherwise, that will come up in job descriptions. And you can start collecting lists of competencies, because sometimes it can be hard to come up with a list of your own. And it can be easier if you have an idea of what some common competencies are. And you don't even have to look at the job descriptions. Just look at the competencies sections. Maybe filter so that you're getting director, vice president, executive, CEO jobs, so that you're seeing the competencies that are required or desired at the higher levels. But competencies will help you figure out what you're good at. Then the next thing you do is you take those competencies and you describe, you take your top 5 or your top 10, and you describe how you impact a company or an organization by using those competencies. And so let's say action orientation, and you are a vice president who oversees a bunch of project managers. Well, action orientation is going to be super important. So what describes you in terms of how you add value to a company or organization by being an action-oriented person? And so you may describe that you are a good cheerleader, a hype person in a conference room, that you're a person who helps cross-functional teams build harmony. You may be a person who recognizes when there are a lot of outstanding items in project management software, and you can go to whoever that project lead is and troubleshoot with them or coach them. So one step is finding the competencies themselves that really resonate with you and that are your biggest strengths. And then the next thing is being able to describe them without discounting them. So then you go back through and you cross out anything that's insulting or that's not complimentary, right? That is, oh, but everybody can do this. Cross it out. Oh, well, but I'm not as good at this as this other person is. Cross that out. We're talking about the things you're good at, not the things that you're self-deprecating about. When you have a list of 5 or 10 things, those are your things to start working on integrating. And this is the hard part, really, right? And this is why I coach. This is why I have clients, especially my high achieving clients, which I haven't had a client yet who's not a high achiever, but my high achievers, my people pleasers, my workaholics, you all are me. And we think that if we have this value, if we can add this value, if we can build these competencies into our everyday vernacular and be willing and able to talk about what we're good at and why we're good at it and how we can contribute to the company, the job, the promotion, whatever it is that we're trying to be in and be recognized for being good at. If we can articulate those things, then we start to feel like we should be doing more, which is not the answer, my high achieving friends. The answer is figure out what you're really good at. What is your value? What is the value you offer? The next step after that, and this is where you need a coach, really, or a mentor or a partner, an accountability partner, right? This is the stuff we can't do on our own because we're not objective enough about ourselves. But the next step after you figure out what value you bring is what value do you want to use, right? I'm like really good at Excel and I hate it. And I have had to ask people to stop coming to me for Excel because I hate it. I don't want to work with it. I can help you figure out a formula. And if I can't help you figure out a formula, I can help you figure out how to do that formula in 5 columns and then hide those columns so nobody even knows that they existed and get the answer that you're looking to get. If I never have to work in Excel again, that will be amazing. And I'm doing my best to not have to work in Excel anymore. And right now I'm just using it essentially as a list maker. I haven't run a formula in Excel in quite some time, and I'm not sorry about that. But that being said, it's something I can do. It's something I'm good at. And when you're good at a lot of things, when you can bring a lot of value to a company or to a job, your challenge is in deciding what you don't want to do, what you don't want to share that you're good at, what you don't want to be any better at, and where do you want to focus? And so this lends itself then to that shift from value to values, right? What do you value in the job that you have before we even go bigger, broader strokes, which is a whole other live, into like what you value in a company and a job and a workplace and a boss and all of that stuff. Like, what value do you want to add to a company? If you are amazing at face-to-face sales, and the last thing you want to go and do is sell things to people, then don't talk about being really good at sales. Don't continue to put yourself in positions where you are selling. And it doesn't mean like go into work tomorrow and say, hey, I was listening to Lauren Lefkowitz last night, and she told me to tell all you guys to go to hell because I'm done with sales. But I am saying this. If you don't like sales, what got you in there? What do you value about the work that you've been doing for X number of years that has gotten you to this executive level or emerging executive level? And what would you want to carry forward with you into another job? Maybe it's sales management. Maybe it's not the direct sales. Maybe it's totally out of sales. Maybe it's over to the service side or the user experience side. But because you know how to sell ideas and things, you can bring those sales skills into another job. So before you even figure out what you want from a company, what you want from a promotion, what you want your boss to praise you for, you have to figure out what value you bring and what value you want to use in your job. That's going to be it for tonight because it is about 80 degrees in my apartment. I'm not sure what's going on. I think my neighbors must have their heat on and it sort of flows through even when I don't have my heat on. And I sort of feel like I'm living inside of a sauna. So I am going to go take my dog outside, get some fresh, crisp, cool air. And I will see you all next week at the same time in the same place. And as I said last week, if you have ideas for topics, if you have ideas for lives, if there's something that you want to hear about or you want me to write about, let me know. And if you want a free tool to start figuring out who you are and how work works for you, if you go to findisatrap.com, yes, I got the domain and I'm really pretty proud of it. But if you go to findisatrap.com, there's a free tool that you can download. And then you'll be on my mailing list. Yes, you will. I will never sell you an extended warranty. But you'll get a newsletter every couple of weeks and you'll get a Sunday email every Sunday with some sort of story about my work life, a client's work life, real life, puppy, something fun and exciting. Anyway, thanks so much for being here tonight, and I will see you next time.